Welcome to Recovery Equity, a series of conversations about promising initiatives and new possibilities to reach and help more people faced with addiction. My name is Jessica Haney, and I'm a manager of an addiction program with the Hazel and Betty Ford Foundation. And today we're talking with Sherry. Hi, Sherry. You and I had a conversation about relationships and recovery. And I'm wondering, what would your advice be about relationships, either in early recovery or later in long-term recovery?
My advice would be, don't do it if you don't have to. And the flesh is weak, and we may want some companionship or something, but we are, as women, we're emotional. We can't just uh, say, I'm not going to get attached, say, I'm not going to fall in love, or I'm not going to get too close. Because we're emotional, we can get close and we can lose ourselves because we're now thinking about the other person. Your if your recovery is important to you, stay out of a relationship. Give yourself a year so you can learn about yourself. That's what they say. We call it 13 stepping when you're trying to work a program, and then you got this other person on the other side of you that's probably trying to pull you away from something you're trying to better your life about. You may not see it as them pulling you away, but believe it. Uh, Misery love company. I've always believed that. They may not seem to be have a miserable life, but they see your life as, wow, this person has something going for themselves. And the majority of the time, if they're not serious about what you're doing, they would try to pull you under instead of trying to come and say, okay, let's live a better life. Let's do this together. So my choice, I would say, don't do it. If you're serious about your recovery, don't do it. At least give yourself a year. You know. And after a year, you probably say, I don't want to be bothered with nobody. It may take 2 or 3 years. After you think about the headache of
Sherry,
another person, oh my goodness, you'd be like, I'm not ready for that yet.
which would be my follow-up, Sherry. How do you know you're ready? How do you know? There's the kind of the standard of the tradition of waiting a year, but in the midst of that, or even after a year, Sherry, how what would you say to someone who's asking the question, how do you know you're ready for a relationship?
Well, that would have to be uh, your heart and your mind, not just one without the other. I believe if, I'm going to say this, I believe if God had put somebody in your life and they are willing to walk the same walk in the same path that you're walking and not pressuring you to get into anything physical, and you're learning about each other, because once you learn about each other, you have more respect for each other. You tend to want to do the same thing, even though you're different individuals, but you still want to follow the same path in life. Throughout my recovery, you know, I have my daughters and their fathers, and it was my youngest daughter, her dad. I just knew we were soulmates because we met in recovery. I mean, in a treatment center, and that's why I say, don't do it. Even though today, she came about through that don't do anything before the year, and my flesh was weak, and I did, and that beautiful daughter of mine came about. We have a relationship, and it's okay, but we're not together today. So if you want something and you think it's real, it, you should be able to wait on each other.
Mm,
A process of, getting your life together and changing to be better people with each other.
mhm. I like that, Sherry. making sure you're ready for that other person. And relationships can be really distracting.
They are.
It can distract you from recovery.
Yes.
And I imagine when you say that, it could also perhaps perpetuate you in a relapse.
Oh, yes. Because your heart is all in there and you feel rejected by the person. It's a possibility. That's why it's suggested not to go there, because it's easy on. Um, I can remember the first time I found uh, the 12 steps. I had someone to introduce me to it. And there's a lot of guys that see the young women come in there, and they wants to be helpful. And they don't want to be helpful. They want to try to get to know you. They want to try to get to know you, ladies. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to
Hmm.
spell it out. We all women, we human, and you know what the men want, and they will try to get there. And if you're not ready, you're gonna say, what am I doing different? I'm not doing anything. I might well stay out there. Or I might well go ahead and get another drink or another drug.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's really easy. Because we have so much belief in ourselves as newcomers that I'm going to change my life. I'm going to do the best that I can. And this handsome, fine, good looking brother come next to you and get to talking sweet in your ear, and you forget all about yourself. This man likes me, because we all want relationships. We all want somebody, a companionship. We want it because we human. It's human nature to want to be with someone and spend your life with someone. So just be careful.
Sure. Then I'm thinking of, you're describing relationships are a human need, right? Um, they're something really important and precious to people. And yet in recovery, it's very prudent to wait. Otherwise, you are at great risk for relapse. And Sherry, my follow-up question to that is, how do you how do you fill that lonely void? What do you How do you take care of yourself um, while not in a relationship?
My recovery has to be just as important as anything else. Foremost, first of all, that this is something I want to hold on to. Having human nature and needs and everything that comes up in early recovery, uh, have a power greater than yourself that you can call on to help you to eliminate those feelings. If you pray for certain things to be removed, truly in my heart, it will be removed from you. If you're sincere and you're praying that I do not want this, it would be, please remove this from me. I'm not strong enough right now for this. It'd be removed. And I truly believe that. Just to today, I do.
And that brings us back to that honesty piece, Sherry. You described that earlier really well. Being honest with yourself is such a big part of the healing and way in which you hold on to recovery. Being honest about, I'm not ready for this relationship, is key.
Right.
And Sherry, I have one other question for you, and that is, if you could describe what recovery means to you, your definition of recovery, what would you say?
That I have a newfound relationship with my life. It's not hunky dory or profound. I'm just an ordinary person who made a bad choice, who became addicted, and decided that they wanted to change their life and live life on life terms. Life on life terms means to me whatever comes at you. You know, we're going to go through sickness, illness, death, relationships, children out being the children as you think they're supposed to be. And that comes from being powerless over people, places, and things. As long as I keep it up front that I'm not using no matter what, And my recovery and working the steps and having a foundation with the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous has allowed me to be a better me.
You know, what you describe as recovery isn't an effort that you make alone,
No.
and it can't be.
Mhm.
You mentioned higher power, you mentioned fellowship, and you even mentioned your children, all a part of that.
Mhm.
Sherry, I thank you so much for your time and your wisdom, all collected in your 28 years of recovery
Thank you. I also mentioned sponsorship.
and sponsorship.
Yes, because without my sponsor, she has uh, actually like helped my hand through the whole process. If I had any questions or any concerns, I could talk to her, and she would share with me or have me to write what's going on with myself. And through 28 years, I have tablets that I've written down my feelings, my thoughts, my hardship, everything. And I can go back and reflect on it. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome.
And on behalf of all of our listeners and viewers, I want to thank you, Sherry, for sharing your personal experiences and providing hope to everyone listening in. And to everyone out there, thank you for joining us. Please let your friends and colleagues know about these conversations and come back often, catch a new series of recovery equity episodes. Together we build a healthier, happier tomorrow.